It's like, what happened? And then, behind Greinke, no one really great right now for, Godley has been lackluster this year. Corbin's been good. Taijuan Walker's out with Tommy John. So another team that could go get him. I just think that, DeGrom's value is going to go down every year because after a while, the contract catches up, arbitration stops. So it's in a weird thing. Would he be more available next in the summer when he has one more year of arbitration, I believe? It'd be good. But at the same time, to get him that extra half a year right now for a team like the Yankees or Arizona or Milwaukee in a year when the NL is so lackluster, I want to say. The NL is kind of just blah this year with teams, a lot of disappointing teams, a lot of injuries. So if any team in the NL is going to make a run, it would be this year, I think.
I'm pulling up the farm system rankings, and I was just on an SB Nation site, so maybe that's not the best source, but Arizona seems to rank pretty low as far as...
It's bad.
Yeah,
they don't have much.
They don't have They could possibly get Machado, but I would rule out DeGrom for sure.
I remember reading something about them. They have a couple top guys and nothing in between, right? I think that's what it was.
They have two guys. One of them is a kid from Rice, John Duplantier. Yeah. And guys, I don't know if you know about pitchers from Rice, but they have a tendency to blow their arms out as soon as they get to the majors, and then you never hear from them again. So anybody who's going to take a flyer on that kid is going to want incentive, so they're going to want extra guys just in case. Yeah, so the D-backs they got to go all in.
Yeah, they'd have to give up their top two prospects for a Machado or DeGrom, and then some, obviously. But not a bad time to do it, especially for those type of players. And I don't know, it'd be interesting. But we got the Red Sox Yankees series coming up. You kind of tagged us in a tweet today, and I agree with you perfectly about David Price. Is he actually going to play? And if he does, can he show up in Yankee Stadium? And kind of sets the tone with, a couple guys coming up that throw a lot of pitches, don't go deep into games, Erod and CC. So if this series goes poorly for the Yankees, who just got swept by Tampa Bay,
I wasn't going to bring that up, by the way.
Well, I wasn't going to bring it up in negative.
I'm just kidding.
They've been playing pretty well recently. They lost 1-0 to Houston tonight after a 5-game win streak. So if you guys get swept or lose 2 out of 3 in a bad way, like you did earlier this year, does that panic button start to set in New York? Getting blown out with we need a pitcher, like a Cole Hamels or DeGrom or something?
To be honest, not really. Because Tampa, the Yankees always play terrible in Tampa. I mean, everybody does.
Yeah,
so
they play us tough. They play us tough too.
Yeah, so I mean that was going to eventually happen. The Yankees were never going to not lose a series or get swept. I mean, very rarely do you see that from teams who can avoid that. I knew eventually that was going to come down. The fact that they were able to bounce back and take 2 out of 3 from the Phillies, who were riding up their high horse, and then the Yankees kind of beat them down a little bit and said, "No, you're the little brother, we're the big brother. You stay over here." So, I kind of had a feeling at least they were going to win at least 1, possibly 2, and then they did win 2, so I was happy with that. But looking at the series, and like I said, like I tagged you guys, Friday is going to be the series that's going to set the tone. If they can win that, if you're the Yankees, that more than likely Sunday, if Severino can be 80% of Severino, which is better than most people's 120, you're going to win that. And then if you get a good Sonny Gray, then maybe you can have a shot, because Chris Sale, for all the great that he does struggle against the Yankees, and it has been proven. So maybe you have a shot, but you would much rather go into that Sale series winning on Friday. And you have a rested bullpen. You had Thursday off, so maybe you can take advantage of that. But at the end of the day, I mean, Erod and CeCe, you got 2 lefties going on. Sanchez isn't there, so we'll have to see if Romine can step up and at least carry for 2 days.
You guys are catching Erod at a good time for you guys, because he's kind of struggled the last couple times out, and his efficiency is terrible, especially as of late. He's getting up to like 70, 80 pitches by the end of the 4th inning, and the Red Sox have struggled with Sabathia, for the last year and a half or so. So I kind of have a bad feeling about Friday. With Chris Sale, though, he kind of altered the start of his delivery a little bit, and since then he's been absolutely lights out. And given the fact that Sonny Gray, he's got a 5 ERA over the season, and his last 3 starts is about that as well. So I have a good feeling about that. But here's the real question. David Price has a 8.5 ERA at Yankee Stadium since joining the Red Sox. If he goes out there and gets shelled, what does that say? Because there is no reason for him to get shelled. He is pitching absolutely great lately. Sanchez is on the DL, who absolutely murders him, so he won't have to deal with him. And because to me, if Price does get shelled, he's just not going to be a big game guy because he's going up against Severino. That's a marquee matchup, and it's going to be live on ESPN in front of everyone. So, and there's no other sports going on right now outside of the World Cup. So,
yeah, which is, it is interesting, and I saw a stat the other day, and it's weird. David Price in primetime games before coming to the Red Sox, his ERA was twice as low. It's doubled since being on the Red Sox with primetime starts for the Red Sox starting. So it's weird that he wasn't, he's obviously not a big game pitcher when it comes to the playoffs. We all know that. Like, every single person in the world knows David Price can't pitch in the postseason unless it's out of the bullpen, which he's pretty good at. Starting-wise, he can't pitch. But in his career before he got to Boston, primetime games, he was good. He was actually, he's close to great. So I don't know what switched. But, yeah, at this point, he has no reason. I don't expect him to outpitch a Severino-type guy. I don't expect that. But I expect a quality start, maybe even seven innings out of him, especially with, Sanchez being out, who murders him. And just in general, you have a Yankees lineup that's been, kind of on and off recently. So, you catch him on an off night, combined with no Sanchez, combined with he's been pitching great. There's no reason why he shouldn't pitch well against the Yankees, right? Quality start at least.
Some breaking news, kind of. It won't be breaking by the time everybody else gets to this, but the Red Sox have acquired Steve Pearce from the Toronto Blue Jays, and
really,
look, he's having a decent year. Only 86 plate appearances so far, but he's got a 291, 349, 519 slash line. So is he a corner outfielder? Is he? Maybe even first base?
Yeah, he's played the corner spots in the infield.
Oh, in the infield, okay.
He played first I know he played first for the Orioles back in the day. I don't know if he still does that, but
he was playing left field, I think, this year for Toronto.
Okay.
He's in the last year of his contract, a 35-year-old. You guessed the wrong 35-year-old, Terry.
I did, didn't I?
You can chew, but we got Pearce, who obviously, great contract he's done this year, so we don't have to worry about it next year. $6.25 million this year in 26 games with Toronto. He's batting .291, and he's only started 20 games, so he's come off the bench a few times. So we're getting him at a good time for guys that need a break. If someone like, JBJ really struggles in the playoffs or something, move Tendy over, put him in left or whatever. So another little piece like the Phillips, like Pearce here for the Red Sox, low risk, high reward. What do we have to give up for him?
Just one prospect. His name is, I've never heard of him, Santiago Espinal.
Probably like 17. You'll never see him.
Doesn't ring any bells.
Yeah.
Great deal. No. Great deal for both guys. You get Pearce out of there. You get a maybe prospect in the Blue Jays. You end up getting rid of a guy that's helping you win games, so you just keep sucking because you want a better draft pick. So I'll take it.
Yeah, and with the Phillips acquisition and now this, it looks like Dombrowski's really trying to catch lightning in a bottle here before he might have to make a big move towards the end of July. So he's trying to get the low risk, high reward type moves, and these.
That's because he wants to trick himself into thinking he can give up the rest of the farm for Brad Hand and justify it.
Well, he knows the system's bad. I mean, he knows that there's nobody left to really trade.
There's nothing there. Yeah, the only way our biggest trade chip right now, there was two of them. It was Jalen Beeks, who got roped on his only start in the major leagues, and then it was Chavez, who is 80 games for his PEDs. So
well, Beeks is also a number 4 starter on a good team, and Chavez doesn't even have a position. Chavez is that like corner bat who can hit the crap out of the ball, but you have no idea where to put him because he can't play third. He's too slow at second, no range at short, definitely because he's big. And first base, he can't pick it.
No, and that's and the good thing about the one flip side to that, which Dombrowski would definitely say, is that you give him a little coaching, he could play in multiple positions. The kid's athletic and he's big and stuff like that. But, the PEDs screwed him because he was not a power hitter until all of a sudden 1 year, which was last year. And he cranked runs, doubles, OPS was high. And then now he gets tagged with PEDs. Unless he used the PEDs as a step up and he's just been working out, crushing it still, he can keep the power that way. But if he strictly was just PEDs, he's going to go back down to earth when it comes to that. And there goes kind of the bargaining chip with that. So, yeah, our system's screwed. I mean, Dombrowski does that. Terry and I talked about it, and we're both okay with it. Like, if Dombrowski isn't the GM next year, it's not that he failed because he gave us everything we needed to win a World Series. It's just up to the players at this point.
Yeah, and that's a good point. And you can also look at the flip side. It's not like anybody has really panned out, other than maybe Travis Shaw, who played well for us to begin with. But
Shaw was a bad guy that he got rid of. Everybody else either hasn't panned out or might not.
Right, exactly. Margot. I still believe.
Margot has been good. Margot has been very good for the Padres.
Has he? I thought he was hitting like low 2s.
No, he's been one of their best defenders in the outfield that they've had going back to the days of Cameron.
Okay.
Mike Cameron back when he played with the Padres. I know his hitting has been a little bit streaky this year, but
that's what I meant. Yeah,
he's definitely a piece that, I mean, don't get me wrong. I would take Jackie Bradley and Mookie Betts every day and twice on Sunday over Margot, but I think the bigger piece that you guys have to worry about is you better hope that Moncada and if Moncada and Kopech don't pan out, because I get that Sale's been killing it and he's been doing well, but if you don't win a World Series with Sale and you waste his prime years and you don't win a title, and then you see Kopech and Moncada and the rest of those young kids for the White Sox, if they win a World Series with those set players, that trade's going to look really bad.
Well, I don't know that Moncada is really going to be the phenom, that he was hyped. He'll be a decent major league player, and so that's I'm not going to feel bad about that. And Kopech, jury's still out. He's in the minors and he's been up and down, very streaky. Gets shelled a couple starts, but then seems to rally and strike out, double digits here and there. But he's probably at least until next year away from getting called up or at least having a permanent spot in a rotation there. And I think the Red Sox have a decent shot to retain Sale. It's going to be either him or Porcello. So
I would sign Sale.
Yeah, I would sign Sale every day. And I think Boston media does a shitty job most of the time when it comes to, a player has a bad start, always a bust or something like that. But the one thing they did a great job with was overhyping Moncada. He's very young still. Was he 22, 23 years old, I think?
Something like
he
that.
Had plenty of time to grow. But we hyped him up to play the field like JBJ and hit the ball like Aaron Judge. That's how the Boston media hyped him up to be. And the kid can't hit a curveball. Can't do it. Aaron Judge, his first year called up, struck out I think he struck out 8 times a game. I don't know. You can quote me on that, Chris, right? He was so bad, couldn't hit a curveball as well. He came back last year and adjusted so well. Moncada has yet to make that adjustment. They're putting him at second base, so his arm doesn't even matter at this point. He has a cannon, but it doesn't matter at second base. You're not really using it at this point. His speed's great, but I think he is going to be like a 260, 270 good player. Kopech's going to blow his arm out. You can't openly say you want to throw the ball 107 miles an hour and break records and not have Tommy John at some point. And he's a little bit of a head case. He does get kind of crazy. He does get shelled here and there.
Punches walls.
Yeah, punches walls. So